Welcome back to the Secrets of Writing a Research Paper. I'm Mr. Ewing, and I love podcasts. These are some of my favorites here. You should check them out sometime. I listen as I run or walk or mow the lawn or cook dinner to keep my mind occupied. And there are lots of podcasts out there. I'm sure you can find some that align with your personal interests. Podcasts are also one of the other sources I will show you about how to find in this lesson on how to find other sources for your research project. Now, feel free to pause, rewind, or rewatch this video as needed. You can go at your own pace. Now, here's a pro tip. Anyone can post stuff on the internet. As we've learned, many people post false or misleading information in order to manipulate people in their beliefs. So be very careful if you choose to look for these other types of sources. In this lesson, I'll give you some more tips and point you in the direction of the more reliable sources, but do beware as you search outside of the library and the library's databases. Before you go ahead with a source that you're not sure about, consult a librarian or your teacher, and you can discuss the pros and cons of using this source, and you can look together at the reliability and believability of the source. Now, the first other source I'll tell you about is something called Classroom Video on Demand. My students have access to this through their school account. They log in with their username and password. They go to the library page and they click a databases tab, and one of the databases listed there is called Classroom Video on Demand. Your school library may have something similar available to you. In fact, you may have Classroom Video on Demand. It's a very popular service. But you may need to enter a username or password to access it, so ask your librarian or your teacher for that information. They should be able to provide it. Now, in Classroom Video on Demand, it is pretty much what it sounds like. You have all kinds of videos that you can access. It works just like the databases. So in this particular search, I'm looking for information about podcasts and education. So that's what I type into my search bar. I could even do an advanced search, just like we did in one of our past lessons. But I'm going to click on this video called Podcast. There are even transcripts to the right, so I can watch the video and also read what's being said in the video as it plays. There's all kinds of details about the video, and there's also the tools that you're used to, like share, so you can save a permalink, and then cite, so you can create a citation. Search through Classroom Video on Demand. I think you'll find it useful. Now, you can also find documentaries on the internet. I'm going to guide you to two really reliable sources of documentary videos that you might be able to use as part of your research. Now, PBS, or the Public Broadcasting Station, produces a series called American Experience. If you search for PBS American Experience, you can watch a lot of these documentaries that they've produced. They're typically shorter, 30 to 60 minutes, but there are some longer ones. And on this web page here, you can click topics, and that will be a drop-down menu that shows you all the different topics that their videos fall into. So if you find a topic there that correlates with your research topic, you may be able to find a nice documentary video to watch and then take notes on it and use that as one of your research sources. Now, another good source of documentary video is the BBC iPlayer. This comes out of the UK, but if you search BBC iPlayer documentaries, you can go here, and in a search bar in the upper right-hand corner, you can search for your topic. A lot of these videos are reliable. First of all, they come from the BBC, and they're very informative. And these might even focus more specifically on a topic that you're researching. So what about YouTube? Well, as we said before, anyone can post stuff on the internet, and anyone can post anything on YouTube. So you've got to be really very, very careful and very skeptical of anything that you watch on YouTube. The Classroom Video on Demand and the other two documentary video sources that I just guided you to are really what you want to use. You want to avoid YouTube pretty much all the time. There are some cases when you can use YouTube, but I would consult a librarian or your teacher if you're thinking about using a YouTube source. Now, a third source that you could use is your local library. They have lots of resources available to the general public, and all you need is a library card, which is free. So our local library is called the Otis Library, and I can click on Catalog or My Account, and just like I searched the school library catalog a couple of lessons ago, I can search this library catalog. What's cool about this is they also have not just books available, but they have DVDs, they have audiobooks, they have lots of different types of resources that you might not be able to find at your school library. And just like with the databases, you can limit your search. So you could look just for nonfiction, for example, and audiobooks related to interviewing. And your public library may have some really great resources that you would miss out on if you didn't go and do this search. All right, so finally, a fourth type of other source, if you will, is podcasts. Now, just like with online videos, anybody can post anything on the internet, so you've got to be a little skeptical and a little careful when it comes to using podcasts. But I'm going to point out some that you might find useful. Particularly, I'm thinking of projects that I know my students are assigned at my school. And I think these podcasts, for example, from the Washington Post, could be really helpful. Letters from War is a series about brothers fighting in the Pacific in World War II, and has a lot of good primary sources, like the letters they wrote to each other. Constitutional from the Washington Post as well is all about how the Constitution was written and what the Constitution says. Also from the Washington Post, Presidential has an episode about each of the presidents. Moonrise is all about the nuclear arms race of the Cold War era. NPR, National Public Radio, also produces a lot of really useful podcasts, such as A Hidden Brain. That's a psychology podcast. TED Radio Hour incorporates TED Talks into the podcast, and they oftentimes interview the TED speakers about what they're presenting. And the TED Radio Hour can focus on almost anything. So just search through there and see if something hits on your topic. NPR also produces Fresh Air. It's an interview show on the radio that's also a podcast. If you're looking for a more current events topic, or you're looking for an interview with this particular person, then you might be able to find that on Fresh Air. On NPR's Throughline, they trace a current event all the way back in history, and they follow kind of a thread of how that particular topic or issue has evolved or changed from the past until today. You've also got Code Switch and Rough Translation from NPR, which if you're researching a cultural or international topic, could be useful. There's also 50 Things That Made the Modern Economy from the BBC. That is really good. That focuses on all kinds of different inventions and discoveries that have changed the world. 99% Invisible is similar. It explores the design of different things in our everyday lives that we may not always notice or think about, but impacts our lives significantly. And then we've got The Daily from the New York Times. They do a deep dive every day into a current events issue. So if you're looking for something current, then check out the Daily and see if they've discussed your topic. And then the Witnessed History podcasts from the BBC could be really interesting. They provide a lot of firsthand accounts. People experience something in history and then they talk about it. So that could be counted even as a primary source. So check those out. Now, again, and I can't stress this enough, sources found outside the library and databases must be held to the highest standards of reliability. If you're a little unsure or even not 100% sure that a source is reliable, consult with your teacher or a librarian to talk about it and get approval before you go ahead and use it. Now, what should you be able to do? You should be able to search classroom video on demand or a similar service provided by your library. You should be able to search your local library's online catalog, search for relevant podcasts, and search for relevant documentaries available online. Now, kind of search through and skim through these other sources that you find that look useful, but don't start watching or listening really closely and taking notes just yet. In the next lesson, we need to talk about how to create source citations for these other types of sources. But as always, consult your assignment schedule or check with your teacher to determine exactly what is expected of you next. As I continue sharing secrets about writing a great research paper, I'll show you how to cite other sources and then how to organize and evaluate your research.